Hello everybody, it's vanburman here and welcome back to my Rage 2 review. Now, I must say, I am somewhat conflicted about my overall opinion on it, and I wanted to try and stay away from other people's reviews before I did my own. I did, however, watch Jim Sterling's, and he did sort of encapsulate a lot of the thoughts that I had regarding the game, unfortunately. Or fortunately, that should be. So, basically makes my video null and void. But the few things I enjoyed from Rage 2 is the gunplay. By far feels very much like Doom. You can tell the same people that made Doom have, been working on Rage 2. That's enjoyable. And the guns and abilities, from what I've played so far, are very interesting and fun. The control scheme on PC, however, is lacks a bit, to say the least. The controls are not intuitive. You can tell it has been made primarily with controller in mind, and I do plan on having a go on Rage 2 with my controller rather than the keyboard to see if I fare a bit better there. I keep, getting my fingers in the wrong place, and stuff is not mapped where you would want it to be. I've spent a bit of time trying to tailor it a little bit, but usually default controls should be pretty much universal by this point. Anyway, moving on from my query or complaint with the controls, I have another complaint as well. The story. It is rubbish. No, it is not rubbish. Yeah, no, it's rubbish. Yeah, no. Yeah, that's how I feel. It's not very good. It doesn't really set much of a scene, or the scene it does set is not overly conducive to how the game actually is. It doesn't do it in the same way that the original Rage does. And playing Rage 2 has made me long to play Rage 1 again, which I may well do afterwards. But not that there's anything inherently wrong with Rage 2, it's really about as good as you can expect to get at the minute, I think, with how, games in general are going, which seems really defeatist, and I do sort of feel that way. A lot of games are very, carbon copy of each other, going along the same, generic road, and Bethesda seems to be one of the main companies at fault for this, which, I'll be honest with you, when you consider their legacy as a whole, it's a difficult one to take. And I realise I'm not talking about the subject matter at hand, talking about Bethesda. But, there is some business practices in this game which have been less than desirable, which you can go and look up if you want. It's not something I planned on talking about in this video, just wanted to stick to Rage 2. One of the more disappointing aspects is the foraging or the exploration, so to speak, in the bandit dens. You've got to go around and find all these containers. There's no easy way to spot them. There is an ability where you can see enemies through walls and the like, and I feel like if that was extended to, your the supply crates and the arc chests, then that would help a lot as well. It would save a lot of faffing around, after you've done the combat. It sort of breaks it up too much. Jim Sterling had this gripe, and I share the same disdain as he does for that. It shouldn't have been in there. They should have made something more intuitive. I think that's a fairly easy fix, and it's probably something they could fix retrospectively with a patch, I'd have thought. So hopefully, they take on some of that feedback from the more prominent people in the community, which would be nice. The driving is bad, it feels like, and Jim Sterling actually stole my comparison that I had in my head, that I hadn't documented anywhere, so I'll let him off. But it's very similar to the Mako in Mass Effect 1, and we all know how horrendous that was to control. In fact, this one controls slightly better because you haven't got the jumping mechanics of the Mako, so thank goodness, because I don't know, it's sort of like a halfway between Mass Effect and Halo, but I thought Halo did it a lot better, to be honest, with the guns and I would rather have had the dual analog movement thing as opposed to the one for movement, one for camera. But beggars can't be choosers, such is life. Overall, I do quite like Rage, actually. It is endearing in a weird sort of way, and I'm going to keep playing it, and there's some very quirky, funny bits in there, which you'll see from the gameplay. And the combat's really good, really enjoyable, and I do actually recommend it, but probably wait till it gets on sale. Thanks for watching, goodbye.